everyone. Welcome back again for another episode of Get to Know Us, and this time it is with Berko Lover. I make music at Spartan Jet-Plex, and she and I did a collaboration album called Merge, and it was 3 years old a few days ago. And Berko Lover's song It Won't is also 3 years old in about a week or so from now. And so we are going to have Berko on and talk about our collaboration and her music and other projects she's got going on. Was so nice yesterday. And I just need to get her. This is always the awkward part where I've got to like invite the person on. And we're having a listening party tonight, actually, after this at 8:30 this evening, Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time on our Discord to listen to Merge, the Merge album that we made together, and also her song It Won't. So if you want to join us later, we recommend that you join our Discord now. The link is in our link tree on how to join Discord. Bringing Berko on, I think. Trying. Okay. Oh, hey!
Hey, what's up?
Not too much. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I had another one of these interviews with Queen Paz a little bit earlier, and that was really cool. And I'm excited to talk with you. I was just letting everybody know that our collaboration album that we made under the name Merge was 3 years old a few days ago, and then your single that you put out, It Won't, is 3 years old in a few days from now, from the release date. Yeah. I guess like let's get into it. I guess I'm always interested in hearing how like people first got into music as a listener, maybe like a first song or a band or album that you might have bought. You know?
I think that I don't know if it's how I feel. The first album I ever bought was a Britney Spears album. I used my own money to buy a Britney Spears album. But I think that my introduction to music probably was different from that. I grew up with my mom and her sister, and they listened to a lot of R&B, so that's my entry.
Okay, cool. And which I'm just curious. I don't really know too much about Britney Spears, but what was the album? I mean, I know a lot more now. Like, I mean, like,
it was her first album. It was her first album.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. How young were you? I'm just curious. When you finally could. Oh no, we're losing. Don't tell me. Oh, it's not an Instagram live without internet problems. Oh, you're back. We had a little blip.
I didn't know I went away. I went away?
Yeah, for a second. There was like, at least on my end, there was like a little delay. I was just curious how old you were when you were.
Actually, I don't think it was her first album. I think it was her second one. I can remember that I spent some time in South Carolina, and my aunt had given me like an allowance, and I bought Britney Spears' second album. So I'm gonna assume that I was between 10 and 12.
Okay, yeah. It's probably like around the age where people, like most kids, like start really getting into like maybe buying their own music and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe kids do it earlier these days. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was interesting because while I bought that one, it was like you could buy it on like this funny little portable thing. I can't remember the name of it now, but I also bought the CD. But I really got into listening to her vinyl at that point. So she had a lot of vinyl. Well, it wasn't really her vinyl. My uncle, who had passed away, had collected a lot of vinyl over the years. He was a musician, and so I listened to a lot of music then. But I think the first thing I purchased was definitely that.
Okay, cool. And like, when did you start getting into like writing music and recording music yourself? Like, how did that come about?
I always wrote it. I think that I didn't start recording it really until I was probably about 18.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. And I guess were you like what were you recording on then? Like
When I
was
started
it
to record, I was recording on Garageband.
okay, yeah, great. Yeah. That's funny because I was just talking to Queen Paz earlier and they actually use GarageBand now, which is always to me, I always think it's really cool to like when people are still using like kind of like freer programs, whatever, to make great music, you know.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah. And I'm curious, when did you first start using Berko Lover? Like, was that like early on, or like did you have different names before you got to Berko Lover?
Yeah, I had a different name before that. It was the Lover Lover. But I changed to Berko Lover. I'm a big Erykah Badu fan, and her
Ah,
last
yeah.
name means like the seventh born. So I went to look up what it means to be the firstborn, and it was Berko, so I changed it.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And you are firstborn, I'm assuming.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Um, yeah, so I guess like let's talk a little bit about yeah, the music projects you've got going on. Let's talk about It Won't though first, since it is the anniversary's coming up. Is there anything you wanted to say? Um, I love that song. The bass in that song is so awesome. And like I know everybody loves it. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, anything you want to talk about it or say about it?
Um, I really am proud of that song. I think it's probably one of the things that I'm most proud of in my life. I don't really know. I can't really say or place, when what really happened or what what brought it on, but I know I just really enjoyed listening to when I was younger, listening to music with synths and stuff like that, and then a heavy bass line. And so I guess it was just me paying homage to music that I really liked that sounded like that. So I was inspired, and then just the lyrics just fell out of me like water from a faucet. And so it
Yeah.
was,
Oh, the
yeah,
lyrics are great.
yeah, it
Um,
didn't take very long. The most technical part was definitely because I'm a shit guitar player, but getting the guitar right was
I
probably,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like 3 years old, so it was right I guess it was out. You obviously wrote it before the pandemic, right? But like it's such an anthem for the for the
Yeah,
pandemic. It's almost like
yeah.
you were had a premonition.
I think I might have. I think that I was definitely. Actually, I can't remember. I was just going through a big transition in my life. And I know that sounds so cliche, but I really was going through a really big transition, and it's actually really a song to myself, and just about avenues and ways I've been taking that just weren't working. And so it manifested into something that you could really just dance to, and that was exciting.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. I'm always also kind of drawn to songs that are like they seem upbeat and they're like make you want to dance and get up, but like
But
they're
the dark,
dark. Yeah, really dark. Like
yes,
that's up my alley. So yeah, it's very dark lyrics and
and
stuff like that.
it's a very dark song, but you get confused. You think it's not, but it's a very very dark song. And
Yeah.
I I was I like that too. I'm a pop girl. I love pop music. Like I said, the first album that I bought was a Britney Spears album. So
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed like the darker elements of pop. When we think about pop, it's supposed to be big and bright, but there's also the darkness that makes us all want to dance.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, I guess I don't I'm like I said, I don't know too I'm not like a huge Britney Spears fan or anything, but like she does have some like really dark
Oh yeah,
music too.
yeah,
Yeah, like the lyrics are dark.
yeah. Dark music. Yeah, she
Which
has a
makes sense now that we know more about like the shit she's gone through and
right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
At that time, I didn't
Um,
know anything about it. I just really enjoyed. I don't know. I just really, maybe I just liked looking at Britney Spears at that time, but I really did. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really
You're
good pop.
pretty cute.
Really enjoy pop music. I'm a really big fan of Michael Jackson and Prince and just like big songs that feel big.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like you really pulled that off actually with the It Won't song. Um, but yeah, I guess like so like let's talk a little bit about our Merge album and then we'll get into like what you got going on new with your music and So Nice Yesterday. Um, yeah, so that was like I really enjoyed doing that collaboration and I guess I don't know, we were talking about it and it doesn't I don't even know like to say that it's about anything really. But I definitely think there's some like definitely some of those dark elements because that's pretty much anything I do will have that and you're probably similar that way. But I guess one of the things I'm most proud about the Merge album that we did is that I feel like we really did a great job at like blending our sounds together. Like you wouldn't think like we maybe Spartan Jet-Plex and Berko Lover are gonna make make an album. Like what's that gonna sound like? And like feel like we did fit really well together, and it sounded great. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
I agree. I think it did sound great, and I think that um, part of um, experimentation is definitely collaboration, and to really push yourselves to be like musically, especially if you do a jam session or something, you collaborate with people. You might not even know them, but you just collaborate with them, and what you really want to do is make it sound as good as possible while you're doing it. So it's just a challenge, and I really enjoyed being able to still mesh and meld the sounds.
Yeah, and I guess for those of you who are wondering, like I know, like, so I'd say maybe half the songs, like, Berko he sent me a track to initially start out on, and then, like, maybe half the tracks, it was the other way around, where, like, I sent the first track to her, and then she worked with it, and then I know, like, I think it's, like, the Thunder song, like, you had sent me, like, all these different stems or whatever, and I tried to, like, cut them up and, like, make something else with them or whatever. I know that there's some of that happening. Yeah, I don't know, but I guess if we can move on from talking about Merge, and if anybody's really interested, then they'll come tonight to the listening party and they can ask us they can ask us questions about it. And listen, if there's anything else you want to say about it, I really love it. Haven't listened to it recently, so I'm kind of excited to re-listen to it again tonight. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think what I want to say about it is just that it's like, um, it's just definitely experimental, and I think that that's what you go in with, and you know that you're listening to something that's not necessarily, it's not the pop, it's not the traditional arrangements of music, but still those elements are there. But if you really go into it, it's like you're like reading or listening to a book of poetry, and it's moody and it's dark, and it's really something that you want to listen to when you want to be in a mood to get out of your mind.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And there's a question I see in the chat asking where they can find your music. I know Bandcamp for sure.
Bandcamp. Hey sis, you can
Yeah,
find it on Bandcamp. I'm pretty much on all distribution sites, but I think that you should go to Bandcamp to find it right now.
yeah, and you know what? I haven't even checked lately. Did you end up accepting the artist invite? I forget. I know while I haven't looked recently, so I don't even
I
know.
believe I did. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Because I was gonna say, so we have like a label. Grimalkin has a label account on Bandcamp, so like if you go to the artist tab, you can see all the artists, and then Berko would be there, and then of course if you just put in Berko Lover, she'll show up on Bandcamp. But yeah, yeah, yeah. We have on our connected to our Bandcamp, we've got So Nice Yesterday's connected there too as an artist, and that's yeah. Let's talk about like yeah, this new album. I'm not gonna say the name or anything because I don't even know if we want to say that yet.
It
But
it's definite. It's called Chant.
okay,
But
cool. I wasn't sure if you wanted to reveal the name yet, but yeah, Chant is it's amazing. And it's all mixed and mastered and everything ready to go. We're just like
yeah,
kind of like
otherwise it's ready and it's good to go.
yeah, we've got to get the cover art worked out and stuff like that. I know that you've been having some trouble like just connecting with getting the picture done. You know what you're gonna do and
Yeah,
and
but we got
yeah. Yeah, and so in that and it's yeah, so nice yesterday is Berko Lover and Kasha
that.
or Tom I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Tom,
Say the name. Yeah, Tom. Okay. Because I know like so that's the artist name. My bad. So yeah, and we released actually it'll be the anniversary of the split next month, but I'm waiting till we actually have the anniversary of the single to bring you both back on to talk with Tom then. But I don't know, I'm babbling now. But anyway, tell us about Chant. Tell us about Chant and what you all have cooking up and everything. Yeah.
um, what can I say about Chant? Chant has been a long time coming. It's definitely some of the most, I'll say, well-rounded music that we've been able to do. We really honed in on our skills and our talents, technically and also creatively. Just how we sound, I think, is phenomenal. Not to toot
Yes.
my own horn.
No, no, it is.
It really sounds good. It's sleek and it's different from Best Party Ever because it's not really about a party. It's not very long. It's just to the point, and it's really something that you want to listen to again when you want to just get out of your mind. And it's always love there. We always talk about love, falling in
Yeah.
love, falling out of love, and really kind of just falling in love with music, and even as a partnership, falling in love with each other. So it's always love there, and it's just a body of work that we should have been put out, but it's coming out. So we hope.
Yeah, it's been a long time in the making, but you know, I think like the best things are worth waiting for, and everyone will be in for a treat when it's when we finally have it out. And I'll definitely want to bring you and Tom back on again for that when that happens. Hopefully we can make it happen this year, but if not, you
It
know,
will
it'll
happen.
come with
It's, it's
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
album, so it's happening this year.
Okay, cool, cool. And oh, I don't know. Yeah, and I'm curious too, like I know you've been working on some songs too, because I remember you sent me a couple drafts and stuff. So, like, yeah, what's going on with that? Like, when are we going to get to release a Berko Lover album? I want to.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
It's
I'm gonna
coming.
be like forever being like, how's that going? How's that
It's
going? I
coming.
know
No,
that's
no, no.
how
It's
I.
coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I'm very bashful at times, so but it's coming. And after Chant, you can look out for that. But it's coming.
Yeah, for those who don't know, so like Berko and I met through like we did this Friends for Equality compilation, and I don't I'm not even sure how we connected. I think probably on Twitter, and then like
Yeah, I think Blue Sky was a mutual, and we connected that way.
yeah, and so yeah, and I remember I loved your music and So Nice yesterday, and I went down a whole rabbit hole of like buying up everything and listening to Berko Lover for a while. So I was like a fan of you. I became a big fan of you after that, and then so yeah, it was just kind of given the back history of it, why it was really exciting to do a collaboration. And I was kind of like nervous about asking you, like you'd be like, why would I want to do a collaboration? With someone who makes music like you, but you were like so cool about it, and it ended up, it took us a while to get it together, but I really liked what we did. anyway, so that's a little back history. And actually, you and Tom, like you all have been like friends for like you're like family, like pretty much. So like, how did
Yeah,
you all
yeah, we've
meet?
known each other since the second grade.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
A
That's
long time.
awesome. Yeah, that's
Mm.
awesome. And like at what age did you all start doing music stuff, collaboration with?
Um,
Like what?
it was definitely, we talked about it all of the time. Like we in our mind we had a band called the Lonely Hearts Club because we're both pop people, and it was named after a Beatles song, obviously,
Yeah.
the Lonely Hearts Club band. But I think we started to collaborate really seriously when we were about 19.
Oh wow. Okay. So it's been a long, it's been a long time that
Yeah,
you've known each other and been working together.
so many songs that we just trashed. Or just like, but we have been working together. It's like it's how we bond. It's how we hang out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just for everybody too, I just remembered something I was gonna say about Chant. I believe, if you want to have like a sneak peek at what maybe is happening, like if you check out the Grammys, you all did a song, and we have the whole Grammys up on our YouTube, and I'm slowly rolling out like the actual single videos. So the
Yeah, and I
single
think I
video
can
isn't
send
anywhere.
us. I'll text Kasha to make sure this is okay. But I think I can play a song off the album tonight also, like different
Okay.
songs.
Get a little. Oh, did everybody hear that? So if you want to get a sneak peek, the only time you'll get to do that is if you come tonight. So yeah, and if you aren't on our Discord, all you got to do is go to our bio and our link tree and click on the Discord and join. And we just recommend people join before 8:30 when it starts because you gotta. We want to. It's public, but we want to keep the space safe. So you got to read some rules when you come in and do a little intro, so we know you read the rules. And yeah, so do that. But anyway, moving on. Like with I don't know if there was any kind of like if you wanted to talk any more about influences and that you have for your own music or was so nice yesterday and like doesn't have to be music influences too. Like, are there other things that you really draw from to make your music? And like, I'd be curious to hear about that.
I don't know. I think that I just really draw from the moment, and I know that's pretty vague, but like when I feel compelled to write something or say something, that's when it really happens. So that's why it takes so
Yeah.
long, because sometimes I don't feel anything. So, and
Yeah,
then
that makes sense.
when I feel something and then I might move away from it, I don't feel that way anymore. So it's just I think cohesion is probably something that I really admire and really listen to. And sometimes that's not necessarily the best way to work when your mind is here and here and here and you want it all to be
Mm.
concise. But I think I draw a lot from cohesion and having everything blend together in a way that is just like really beautiful and pretty. I use the word pretty a lot, but I really like when things look beautiful and sound beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So like kind of you get struck by the moment and then you got kind of just comes together for you when you're writing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. And are there any like is there anything that you're listening to right now that you want to talk about?
What I'm listening to right now, I am listening to a lot of Victoria Monet. I'm just listening to a lot of R&B right now. So just, I mean, old stuff, new stuff. I'm just in a mood. I don't know if it's because it's been so long with like dark and gloomy like vibes from the pandemic and just listening to that right now. I'm just trying to let the sky open. So I've been listening to a lot of different chords and stuff like that. Really beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and then I honestly cannot even remember what we had talked about before, but like we were so at Grimalkin we do mutual aid work is a big part of what we do, and we're you know we haven't done a tape release yet, but we usually our tape releases go to different, you know, grassroots mutual aid organizations that are local to the artist. So I can't even remember if we talked about this, but like, what are you thinking? Like, what's going on in Baltimore, or that you want to talk about, or just mutual aid in general that you know about? And yeah, like, what are you thinking?
I think I just always want to say free Keith Davis Jr. So
Yeah,
go
yeah,
figure out, like, go find the story on your own. It's really easy. It's like you can just Google it. You can figure out ways to send money to his family, but really, free Keith Davis Jr. This is a person who has been incarcerated for a very long time for a crime that they did not commit, and tried more times than anyone ever in the history of the United States, actually. So just, yeah, go figure that out and free Keith Davis Jr. immediately.
yeah. Now I remember. I'm like, my brain was like somehow went in a cloud for a minute. Yeah, so you actually did donate. So Nice Yesterday and Berko Lover. Actually, you all donated proceeds from the singles that we put out to the free Keith Davis Jr. Fund at the time. And actually, we do have, you know, if you're not familiar, you definitely Google it. But also, we have the information on the album pages this for the singles that we released, so you can find out a bunch of information about the situation and what happened that way too. And there's some links in there. So yeah, so I guess, are you thinking about donating tape proceeds again to the family when you all
Absolutely.
cool? Cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty disturbing, I don't know what else to say, like, story, and it's pretty crazy. And I think we had talked, and like, I think he's getting another trial.
Yeah, it's coming up. So
Yeah.
go
So
educate yourselves. Read what you can. If you can afford to, donate to the family. Send Keith some money, but yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah, and then the other thing I wanted to talk about that's like is just sort of like, so the part of what Grimalkin's trying to do, right, is like create new systems of support for artists, because the music industry and business and even people's local scenes, a lot of times there's not a lot of support for artists. And I'm always curious to hear from different people, like, their perspective on things that they want to see changed within either their local music scene or at large, like just the music industry or business or whatever way, what you want to call it. You know, things that you think are really holding artists back, because most situations artists are always at the bottom of all the systems in terms of giving them support or money or care.
I think
Yeah.
specifically what I want to talk about is just influence and people using that influence positively. And when you get a lot of young artists, especially young women or people who identify as women, or just like very young, vulnerable people, not using your influence to take advantage of them. I think that is something that we don't talk about very much, but a lot of times, you know, people sell people false hopes and dreams just to take advantage of them in ways that they won't be able to come back from. And so I would say just not be a creep.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, like, I feel like that's how a lot of record labels function with like getting, you know, they sell you know, some kind of story to them you know, to lure them in, but really it's like they're being exploited, and the money isn't really, you know, or they're told they're going to be given this amount of money, and they're given it, but then they got to pay it back. And
Yeah, and like, honestly though, like, if you want to go on a date with a girl, don't say it's because you want to help her with her album.
yeah, okay, yeah. So you're talking to like just these horrible executives that are like using people that way. Yeah. Um, yeah. So I guess like the the last thing I'd like to just sort of see is, or hear from you, is like any kind of like advice you might have to musicians or people who maybe are just starting out or thinking about trying to get into making music, or hopes and dreams you might have for yourself or the future, and anything else I may not have forgot. I may have forgotten to ask too. Like I'm not I'm not sure that you want to talk about. Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think I just want everybody to take care of themselves. Give yourselves a lot of grace. It's been a hard life, honestly, and these last 2 years haven't been easy on anyone. So just give yourself grace. Move through your art as quickly as you need to, and move through your life as quickly as you need to. Just take care of yourself.
Yeah. That's good. That's good advice. Yeah, so for everybody who's listening, yes, I vote for Berko. I haven't been keeping up with the comments. Sometimes it's hard for me to do multiple things at the same time. So I guess that's really funny. But yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, so yes, for those of you who are listening, tonight we're having a listening party. We're going to listen to the Merge album that myself as Spartan Jet-Plex and Berko Lover made together 3 years ago. It's 3 years old. We're going to listen to the It Won't song again. It's awesome, and also 3 years old coming up. And then Berko may be even playing a song off of...
I'm going to play a new song. I'm going to go rogue. I'm going to play a new song.
Yeah. So come by and check that out. It's at 8:30 tonight Eastern Standard Time. And again, to join our Discord, just go to the link tree in our bio and click on the Discord, and you'll be in. And yeah, just do it before 8:30 so that you can read the rules, do an intro, and get in before we have the listening party. So yeah, well then I'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
Oh my gosh. I was like wondering, is that like somebody's in the background just sitting?
It's my muse.
Oh my God.
My muse, and she wanted to say, yell it.
That's so funny. I swear to God, I thought maybe somebody was like sitting back there. That's so, because I couldn't see very well. It just kind of looked like someone sitting like in the back. That's hilarious. Okay. Wait, do you have a name for her?
Her name is Chant.
Oh, that's her name. Oh, her name is Chant. All right. Awesome. Hi, Chant. That's like frightening. Just a little bit, like in a good way. Like so, all right. Well, then I will see you a little bit later tonight, Berko. And thank you so much for coming on and talking to me. And it's been fun. It was really fun.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Yeah, you take care.
Thanks everybody for joining. Love y'all.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.